Have you ever stopped to think that some of your favorite anime might have been inspired by real people or events? Sounds crazy, right? But believe me, reality has influenced the anime world way more than you think. And that's exactly what we're talking about in today's video. Get ready, because we're going from legendary samurai to bizarre figures from World War II. Trust me, you'll leave this video with your mind blown. 1. Vinland Saga. Starting off with a historical punch, we've got Vinland Saga, which is basically a sword-swinging documentary. The anime follows young Thorfinn, a Viking warrior on a quest for revenge. And get this, Thorfinn was a real person. Author Makoto Yukimura based the story on actual Norse historical records, such as the Saga of the Greenlanders and the Saga of Eric the Red. Thorfinn Karlsefni was an explorer who tried to colonize North America around the year 1000. Other characters like Leif Erikson were also real figures, and the concept of Vinland itself comes from historical writings where Vikings described a land full of grapes, which historians believe is the current Canadian coast. 2. Grave of the Fireflies. If there's one anime that will emotionally destroy you, and is based on something real, it's this one. The film tells the story of two siblings trying to survive in Japan during World War II bombings. The movie was based on the semi-autobiographical short story by Akiyuki Nosaka, who actually lost his younger sister during the war. He wrote it as a way to ask for forgiveness for not being able to save her. The animation is so raw and real that many people can't even watch it a second time, but it serves as a powerful reminder of war's brutality and how fiction can be born from real pain. 3. Golden Kamuy Now. Here's a wild mix of action, comedy, and indigenous culture. Golden Kamuy is set right after the Russo-Japanese War and revolves around the hunt for hidden Ainu treasure. The craziest part? Several characters are based on real figures, like Toshizo Hijikata, one of the leaders of the Shinsengumi who actually existed. Even his look and personality were adapted from historical records. Author Satoru Noda also made sure to portray the Ainu culture with incredible accuracy, consulting Ainu specialists to get rituals, food, and language exactly right. 4. Rurouni Kenshin. Here's a classic. The scarred samurai who swore never to kill again. But did you know Kenshin was inspired by a real person? The story takes place during the Meiji Restoration, a historical period that really happened. Kenshin was based on Kawakami Gensai, one of the 4 Hitokiri of the Bakumatsu. Kawakami was a deadly swordsman, known for his speed and silent assassinations. He also met a tragic fate, being executed for treason. The creator of Kenshin used this backdrop to craft the pacifist hero's journey. 5. The Wind Rises. This is one of Studio Ghibli's most unique films, and there's no magic here, just the passion of a man for building airplanes. And yes, he was real. The protagonist is Jiro Horikoshi, the engineer who designed the Mitsubishi A6M Zero fighter plane used by Japan in World War II. Hayao Miyazaki wanted to show the human side of someone who, unintentionally, contributed to a tragedy. The movie blends reality and dreams, showing how Jiro loved airplanes since childhood. It's both a tribute to idealism and a critique of war. 6. Monster. You might not expect this from a psychological thriller, but Monster by Naoki Urasawa is packed with real-world elements. It's set in post-Cold War Germany, and the author deeply researched European history. The villain, Johann Liebert, is one of the most chilling characters ever created, and it's believed he was inspired by real criminals from East Germany, including serial killers with hidden pasts from the communist regime. The political backdrop, tensions between East and West, and the influence of psychological experiments like MK Ultra are all woven into the story. It's fiction, but it gives you real-world chills. 7. Barefoot Gen This One is heavy. The anime manga tells the story of a boy in Hiroshima on the day the atomic bomb was dropped. And yes, it's based on the real experience of author Keiji Nakazawa, who survived the attack. Nakazawa lost most of his family and used his art as a form of protest. The work is brutal, graphic, and realistic, so much so that it's been used in Japanese schools to teach about the horrors of war. It's impossible to watch without being deeply affected. One of the rawest accounts of modern history ever put into manga form. 8. In This Corner of the World. Another war-themed anime, but this time showing the everyday life of Suzu, an ordinary woman living in Hiroshima during World War II. The anime is based on Fumio Kuno's manga, inspired by real diaries and letters. The production recreated historical locations with insane accuracy. Even the sound of the bombings was recreated using recordings from the time. The idea was to show that even in chaos, life goes on, and ordinary people have powerful stories too. 9. Welcome to the NHK Here's One for fans of psychological anime. The story follows a hikikomori, a shut-in who isolates themselves completely from society, and author Tatsuhiko Takimoto wrote the novel while being a hikikomori himself. The anime blends fiction with personal experience, exploring depression, anxiety, digital addiction, and even conspiracy theories. A social critique rooted in a reality lived by thousands of young people in modern Japan. 10. Baccano. You might think Baccano is just chaos with immortals, trains, and gangsters, but much of its setting comes from real-life events in the United States during Prohibition and the Great Depression. The mafia families, trains like the Flying Pussyfoot, and even gang wars are all inspired by history. Author Ryogo Narita used old documents and newspapers to build his wild and bloody plot. Even with supernatural elements, the period accuracy is so spot on it feels like watching an animated Tarantino movie, but with more blood and even crazier characters. So which of these anime surprised you the most with its real-life origins? We often think anime is pure fantasy, but as you've seen here, reality can be stranger and way more intense than fiction. If you love this kind of trivia, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling me what other topic you want to see next.